Alright then. What's going on, kids? How y'all going? I'm just playing some Zeus March of Olympus right now. Classic game, classic city builder game, beautiful. I know you can't see or hear it, I won't bore you with it. I highly recommend checking it out. It's on like GOG and Steam, I believe. It's pretty good. But I wanted to talk today. I've just been listening. This is the game I play when I'm on like fucking chill and vibe. I had a busy day today. I was buying a bunch of cars for eBay and shit like that. And, just listen to podcasts when I'm done listing all this shit, which fortunately wasn't too much. I'm buying this guy's collection at the moment, and it's like fucking $1,000 worth of cards. And, like, I bought like 3 collections in the past week. It's been fucking insane. It's gotten to the point where I don't have enough money to actually buy them. Unfortunately, this guy's been cool enough to, let me buy them in, like, installments. So I dropped $500 on it today, which was nice. But yeah, I just thought I would fucking make a little video and talk about basically streaming and YouTube and stuff like that. And, people who want to make YouTube and streaming their career, because a lot of people want to do that. And while I feel that it is admirable, and it is like a cool thing to try and work towards, it is obviously incredibly hard to do, and incredibly hard to make work. It's incredibly competitive, and honestly, I think you would be better served if we just take a look at like the root, what you really want. Because when somebody tells me like I want to be a streamer or something like that, to me, some people do generally want to be a streamer. They want to entertain people. They want to do all this shit. They want to put on a show, have a crowd of people watching them, stuff like that. Some people genuinely do. But I think most people who say like, oh, I want to be a streamer, I want to do all this cool shit, and I want to play games for a living. It'll be really cool, really fun. I think what most people want to do is they want to work from home. I think that's the biggest thing. I think it's not even the, I play video games for a living thing. I think it's more the, hey, I can work from home and do something that I enjoy sort of thing that attracts most people to like YouTube and streaming and the like. And I want to tell you guys that if you want to do that, don't bother with YouTube and streaming, okay? Get into online selling. Like, straight up. I remember... Okay, let me give a bit of history to me and how I sort of got into doing eBay and how I picked my niche. So, back in 2016, like at the beginning of 2016, around April actually, yeah, around there, Comic-Con was on, and me and Barry went to Comic-Con. As we do, we go to like pretty much every major convention that happens here in Adelaide. We went to Comic-Con, and one of my friends from work, I worked at a McDonald's at the time, and I was looking for a job in security at the time, having just finished all my security certificates and stuff like that to get into that business. So one of my mates from McDonald's was there as well, and his name was Jacob. Really cool guy. I still see him I saw him at Avcon this year, but we don't like hang out or anything really. It's just always good to see him. I saw a couple of other people from work there too, like all my old co-workers. It's good, they've moved on too, which is nice, because fuck working at a McDonald's, man, it sucks dick. Beside the point. Sorry, I'm rambling. I'm gonna ramble, whatever. But yeah, I was there, and my friend Jacob's like, oh, I want to go into like the Magic the Gathering area so I can get free cards, because they do that learn to play thing, and they teach you how to play, and at the end you can get a free booster pack, and you can also get a coupon for like a cheaper welcome deck at one of the stores and shit at the convention or one of the vendors there. So I'm like, all right, I've never played this Magic the Gathering game. My friend Barry, who you all know, he talked about it in the past. He played a little bit, so I'm like, all right, cool. My friend Jake, I'm like, cool, let's go play Magic. And I did, and I really enjoyed it. And I remember getting my pack, my one pack. This was Echidna in the city. Okay, whatever. I remember getting my one pack, and it was Shadows over Innistrad. So yeah, this was around that time, where Shadows was the standard and the latest set. And I opened it, and I actually got it here. I kept it from my first pack I ever opened. It was a foil choked estuary. See if I can find it. This is like my sentimental folder. There it is. It's right there. Right there. Foil choked estuary. I'm like, oh my god, it's a 4 rare. How much is this worth? And I remember like looking up the price, and I'm pretty sure it was on Star City Games. I'm like, wow, actually, I made some money on this pack and stuff like that. It was really cool. And that's what really sparked my attention for like Magic the Gathering finance. But it lay dormant for the longest time. Like, it never really turned into anything. It was just sort of like, oh yeah, this is a thing that exists. This Magic the Gathering finance thing. But then, I got a job in security, and it was towards the end of 2016 that I basically just had a mental breakdown because I wasn't liking what I was doing at all. I was working at a McDonald's, and I was working at a security job, which the biggest thing is it was long drives to get into the city because I live so far away, and it was boring as fuck, and I just couldn't take that shit. So basically I decided to quit my security job, and I kept working at the McDonald's. But when it looked into while I was at the McDonald's was I was thinking, like, I want to try to do something. I want to maybe like try and do eBay and learn how to do it. So I it started off as just a curiosity. Like, I looked at, by the way, you're probably going to hear my eBay going off quite a bit while I make this video. I've been selling like crazy because I've been listing so much shit. So I just started looking at like Magic the Gathering finance related things and how to like start on eBay and tutorials and stuff like that. And I remember watching Darium's videos. Sorry, the Magic the Gathering. They don't do Magic the Gathering anymore. They're all Pokemon, and they're wildly successful with that. So good on them. I just don't like the fact that they deleted all their Magic stuff, because I'd really love to go back and watch that. But they'll do these like profit and loss things on these booster boxes, and I began learning about finance. I learned what the reserve list was. I initially like, I want to start my own store one day. No, don't do that. Bad idea. Like a physical store. So I learned. Eventually, like, I pulled out the Magic cards I had on the shelf from Comic-Con, and I sold a few of them on eBay, and I learned how to do the envelopes and the shipping and manage a store and how to list stuff. And in February of 2017, I quit my job at McDonald's to work for my parents on their farm, and I still do that a little bit. And basically, I bought my first collection in February. And it was a big collection, and I underpaid massively for it because the guy didn't know what he had, and I didn't know what to look for, really, because I was new to the game, mostly. So I listed all that on eBay and started making money in February of 2017. Oh, by the way, before that, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves here. I wanted to learn how to play Magic the Gathering first, so I went to a local game store. There's actually a video on my channel of me opening a booster box. And that was my first day at the store. I met people who I still know today. I go to a different store now, but occasionally I still see people will come between stores, and I still get to meet them and stuff like that. So yeah, I learned how to sell. I began buying collections. In May of that year, I got into Yu-Gi-Oh as well. My best score to date was my first Yu-Gi-Oh collection I ever bought. I paid $50 for 2 folders filled with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And I listed about $2,000 worth of cards, because here in Australia it's massively overpriced. But yeah, I got right into it. Eventually it got really good. I started making a bit of money. I'm not rich by any means. I'm definitely I'm probably making less than minimum wage, but I make it sitting in this computer chair watching a podcast, or listening to music. So I'm cool with that. And I'm really happy doing that. And I think that's a very important thing, as long as you're happy doing what you're doing. It's much better than making double, but, hating your life and sitting behind a desk all day. I guess that depends on the person. Some people like making a lot of money and stuff like that, but it's not me, So basically I started off doing that. It got really good, and this was coming off of 2015 where I was doing YouTube, and I wanted to sort of make YouTube my career. I didn't really mention it much on the channel. I sort of just was like, hey, if it happens, it happens. But I really wanted it to happen, and it never really did. I was too niche of a market. I was playing League of Legends and only playing one champion, and I wasn't that good. It was never going to happen, and I couldn't stream. To this day, I think that if I had good enough internet to stream back then, I could have really been something. I could have really taken off, but I mean, circumstances, they're just like that, I didn't have the internet to stream, and now that I quit, it's too late. So I really went all in on the eBay selling stuff. And it really put things into perspective for me, because for all the work that I was trying to put into trying to do YouTube full time and it never getting anywhere, I put so much less work into making eBay work and making online selling work. I put so much less work into the entire process. It was much easier to learn, much easier to excel at. There was so much less luck involved. There is still luck, You've got to be awake at the times when the people post the collections because people will gobble them up. Everyone wants them. You got to compete. You got to, I compete with friends for collections, and sometimes I snipe them from them, and it can be a bit antsy. But I mean, that's how it is. It's a business to me. It's very, very serious. So I'm not saying there's no luck involved, but there's so much less luck involved than something like streaming or doing YouTube for a living. Doing YouTube is basically impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'll make nowhere near as much money now as you could back in 2015 and before. The adpocalypse has happened. It's completely fucking ruined everything. And there's just not much you can do. And, Twitch, sort of the same thing at this point. But Twitch is becoming very prohibitive with their rules. I would not want to rely on Twitch for my income. It's a very temperamental platform. Personally, if I ever did get big on Twitch, I'd just stream on Twitch for fun these days, and it's very freeing just being able to chill and stream for fun and not have to worry about growing or anything, just enjoying myself. Of course, I want to grow, but it's not like a massive priority. But Twitch is a very temperamental platform. One day you could be the greatest streamer on that platform, having a great time, making a lot of money. The next day they could ban you because you said the word nigger on stream accidentally. Even if I became big on Twitch, even if I became #1 on Twitch, I'd probably still keep doing my eBay stuff just so I can have a little bit of security. And I would base my entire life probably still, like my spending habits and my living situation and how I'm going to structure my finances based solely on that eBay income, because that eBay income is at least consistent. eBay is not going to ban me for no reason. I'm a 100% feedback seller. They're not just going to randomly, with a completely clean record. They're not just going to hit me out of the blue and destroy me. I mean, they could. I've heard it happen, but it's incredibly unlikely compared to something like Twitch. So I'd live within my means, and then all the money I'll get from Twitch would just be like gravy. I'd put in savings accounts. I'd use it to help buy more collections to bolster my eBay stuff. I would, probably just buy more equipment, buy stuff to make the streaming better, and the rest I'll just put in savings or put in investments, buy more Magic the Gathering, Power 9, stuff like that, things that will hold, retain value, grow in value. But I would still keep doing the eBay stuff. And I'd be fortunate enough to do that because it's something I can do from home. It's not like it's a job I have to go to 9 to 5 or, part-time or something where I can't, like, it takes it saps a lot of your energy, and you don't want to come home and stream. It's something that's very low energy. It still does take time. I've driven like probably 500 kilometers in the last week, going up and down, back to the city and back, checking out collections, buying collections. It's been crazy. So it costs money, it costs time, but it's nowhere near as much as it like a full-time job for sure. But you don't make as much money. So yeah, basically, the main thing I'm trying to say in this video is if you want to work from home, the entire reason you want to do YouTube and Twitch is because you want to work from home, you want to be able to just be able to do something that you sort of enjoy in the comfort of your own home. Don't bother with YouTube and Twitch. You can still do YouTube and Twitch, but do it for fun. Do it, and you might find that you find success with it, and you end up becoming big anyways, and you end up building a fan base. It could take many years, but because you're doing it as a hobby, and it's you're not consistently obsessed with growth every single second because you want to try and make it something it's probably never going to be. Let's face it, most of us probably will never make that sort of thing happen. You'll be a lot more relaxed and a lot more chill and a lot more yourself instead of trying to be somebody else. And try and look for a niche. Try and look for something that you can sell, something that you can flip, something that you can make a home business out of, selling it or anything like that. Like, some things are very, very simple. Like trading cards, the logistics of it is quite simple. My shipping stuff is this right here. And sometimes like padded envelopes, and my inventory is literally like a box. Like one fucking box that's like this big. I could take it anywhere with me in the country and keep running my business pretty much. But obviously if you want to do something else, you want to get into like antiques and jewelry and stuff like that, you might need to like hire out a storage unit and stuff like that. It's complete. I can't give like general advice for anybody on how to get started because it differs so much between so many different things. But obviously the best thing is look at YouTube, look at tutorials. Darium's also had a great tutorial on how to set up an eBay store for Magic the Gathering and trading cards and stuff like that, and talk me through like the store tiers and what store's best for you, like store package that you pay monthly. It's like sort of your eBay rent, quote unquote. I learned about the fees and stuff like that. Or maybe, you know, maybe like something else, like maybe you're a mechanic or some shit, and you've got like a home garage, and you want to buy cars, and, you know, you're sick of your mechanic job, so you start buying old cars and fixing them up and selling them and doing something like that. I'm not sure how the gearhead stuff works, but there's always opportunities out there. And obviously it differs from country to country. Some countries, what you're doing might be more in demand than other countries. If I tried to run my eBay business selling trading cards in America, I probably wouldn't be too successful because the prices are far too cutthroat there. And it just wouldn't go as well for me. But conversely, there'll be a lot more stock. You know, if I was willing to travel between states, I could buy a lot of collections if I had the money and list a lot of stuff and try to do that selling. But there's a lot more competition. Whereas in Australia, it's much more limited. I'm one of the biggest eBay stores in Australia selling Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! But that's not saying much because there's not many. So it's a niche market I can tap into, and I can outrageously overprice people on Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards because no one fucking sells Yu-Gi-Oh! On eBay. Magic the Gathering is a lot more cutthroat. My margins are nowhere near as good, but obviously they're the biggest sellers. A lot of people play Magic here. It's mostly Magic, but there's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Here too. A lot of people play Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, that's just what I'm trying to say. Like, don't... You need to sort of treat these things like YouTube and Twitch. You really should treat them like a hobby that maybe might become a career or something like that. Obviously, it's fine to really want to grow. It's fine to want to expand and become bigger. But if you most people, I'll probably say 90% of people who want to do YouTube and Twitch are just people who want to work from home. Are people who are sick of doing whatever job they're doing, working for a boss they want to punch in the face and shit like that, and just not being happy with their lot in life. And I think you'd be much better served, instead of stressing yourself out trying to do YouTube or Twitch or something like that, find something you can do at home. Find an online selling business. Get into drop shipping, for fuck's sake. I mean, I don't know if you can still do that or if it's as good as it was, 5-10 years ago, but get into that sort of shit. Learn how to do it. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's not hard. In the age of YouTube, you can just Google whatever you want. I want to sell on eBay, but I don't know how to use eBay. It seems too daunting. Just spend just say to yourself one day, okay, I'm going to spend the next 4 hours just looking at eBay tutorials on YouTube. And you realize how to do it real quick, and find your niche, find your market, find some market that you can tap into. Like the guy where I buy most of my envelopes from, what he does is he collects like old stamps and then buys like old stamp collections and money collections, like vintage bills and mint currency and like special currency, and he sells like coin collections and like vintage artwork and stamps and stuff like that. And then if he has stamps that aren't worth like any money or like special collector's items, he like buys a bunch of envelopes, slaps the stamps on the envelopes and sells them to eBayers for 80 cents. A dollar's worth of stamps for 80 cents, and he makes money that way, and I get cheaper postage, so it's pretty cool. I got a good relationship with the guy, and he's Greek too. We're both Greek, pretty cool. But yeah, like find a niche, find something you enjoy. It's always great if you can like tap into a hobby. Like Magic the Gathering is something I play and enjoy, and I also happen to be able to sell it. It's a bonus. I go to the game store on Friday night, I play a draft, and then I hook up with people who want to sell me collections. So I go there for business as well as for pleasure, But it doesn't always have to be that way. Find a market, find a niche, go out there and look, ask around, go on eBay, look at what people are selling, see if you can find stuff on Craigslist that you can flip and sell and get into selling. Some things are better than others. I wouldn't really bother with DVDs or stuff like that, or games, but you can find collectibles and antiques, coins, stamps. You can always find something. Find your niche, find something that you can latch onto, get a market share in. Maybe even something like you could get a distributor for without having a store. Like sex toys are big for that, I heard. Funnily enough, you can do that, and anyone can do it. If I can do it, then anyone can fucking do it. I didn't have a massive amount of motivation. I just I want to try and see if I can make it work, and I did. If you really go at it 100% from the start, I only started going 100% like a couple months in. If you go 100% in it from the start, I mean, you could go nuts. But yeah, that's just what I want to say. Don't bother with YouTube and Twitch as careers at this point. It's very unlikely that you're going to blow up. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that if you're looking to get into something and get success at a reasonable rate, get into online selling. Get into making your own home business in some niche market that you can tap into and exploit. That would be my recommendation. And that's coming from somebody who is currently doing that and making it work. And who also does YouTube and Twitch for fun on the side. But you know. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. Yeah, leave a like below, leave a comment, talk about it. If you want to ask any questions about eBay or stuff like that, I'll be happy to answer them too. But yeah, apart from that, hope you enjoyed this one, guys. I'll see you all next time. Peace out. Curse the lock. Stop recording.